Alright, so we are now just going to do an integer review. So I'm just going to review all the operations we did with integers. So the first one is adding integers. So remember, rule 1 says if the signs are the same, add the digits and keep the sign. So if we look here at our first example, we have -4 add by -2. So the signs here are the same, they're both negative. So I'm going to add the 2, 4 and 2 is going to give me 6, and then I'm going to keep the sign. So my answer is -6. So I'm going to just take down the 10 here. So even though we don't see the sign here beside the 10, we're going to assume that that is a positive 10. So now rule 2 says that the signs are different, and they are, because I have a -6 and a positive 10. I'm going to subtract the digits, 10 and 6, that's going to give me 4, and then I'm going to take the sign of the larger digit. Well, 10 is bigger than 6, and the sign of 10 is positive, so I'm going to get a positive 4. Now, multiplying integers. So remember what I said, positive and positive will give me a positive, negative and negative will give me a positive, positive, negative, negative, and a negative, positive, negative. And the same rules also apply with dividing. So if we look here at example 2, I have 5 times by 3 is 15, and a positive and a negative will give me a negative. So my answer is -15. Here I have -2 times by -10. So 2 times 10 is going to give me 20, and then a negative and a negative will give me a positive. So my answer is positive 20. Now with positive exponents. So with positive exponents, remember here that the 2 is the base and small number is the exponent. So this is not saying 2 times by 3. This says times 2 by itself 3 times. So 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2, that's 4. Then I'm going to bring down that other 2. And then 4 times 2 is going to give me 8. Now here, this is 5 to the 2, or 5 squared. Again, it's not 5 times by 2, but 5 times by itself 2 times. So 5 times 5 gives me 25. Now, with negative exponents, as long as you remember what I did in the positive exponents, you can't go wrong with the negative exponents. So this is -2 to the power of 3. So we're going to take -2 and we're going to times it by itself 3 times. So -2 times by -2, that's going to give me a positive 4. Bring down the -2. 4 times by -2 is my -8. Here I have -5 times by 2. So -5 times -5. So -5 times by itself 2 times. And negative and negative will give me a positive. 5 times 5 is 25. Lastly, there's subtracting integers. So remember, there's 3 steps. First, you have to change the question and the subtraction to an addition. Then you have to switch the sign of the second digit, and then solve by following the addition rule. So let's look here at this example. I have -6 subtract by -2. So again, step 1, change the subtraction, this guy right here, into an addition. Alright, then step 2, switch the sign of the second digit. So -6 is the first digit, and -2 is the second digit. So it's a negative, I'm going to now switch it to a positive. Then lastly, solve following the addition rule. So I have here -6 add by +2, -6 and +2, the signs are different, so I'm going to subtract them. 6 subtract by 2 is going to give me 4. Take the sign of the bigger digit, which is -6. So my answer is going to be -4. Let's look at one more example here. I have -10 subtract by 4. Okay, so first step, change the subtraction to addition. I will now have -10 add by 4. Switch the sign of the second digit. So this 4, we don't see any negative here, so we're going to assume that this 4 is positive. So we're going to make this 4 a negative now. So I have -10 add by -4. Now step 3, solve by following the addition rule. So I have 2 negatives. Okay, the signs are the same. I'm going to add them. 10 plus 4 is 14. Keep the sign. So I have now -14. Alright, so if you have any questions, please come up to me and ask.